space. Is that okay? Because I can't function if I stand in one spot. I'll just stand here a lot. I won't know what to do with my hands or anything. So, like John said, my name is Nathan, Nathan Floress. I usually go to church during the day. Me, my wife, and our two kids. We got a little girl that's turning 4 and a little boy that's turning 1. The boy likes to smile, and the girl likes to tell me when I'm doing something wrong. It's a good time, though. I enjoy it. So testimony is a beautiful thing. It helps us connect. It helps us understand that all of us are human. All of us are sinners. All of us come from the same place, right? And God meets us where we are, no matter where that place is. Some of us meet him on the street. Some of us meet him in the workplace. Some of us can meet him in a locker room. It really doesn't matter where. For myself, I encountered Christ and came to Christ while I was in the military. But before that, me and my wife got together in high school, our senior year, and when her grandpa passed away, she gave her life to Christ. And at the time, she got baptized. I was like, all right, cool. So what do Christians do? I'll buy her a cross necklace. So I gave that to her and said, all right, cool. Now I've fulfilled my boyfriend duties, and we can move on about this and go about my day. But she continued to go to church, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. Well, now I got to go. And really, the slow going to church and seeing how the people acted around me really started to change my heart. Before Christ, I was a very intellectually driven person. I liked to show people how smart I was, and those people that I usually talked to were Christians, and I would try to belittle them in their faith and tell them how they were wrong and how my scientific view was right. Mine and Lee Strobel's story match up in that way. I liked to poke fun because it made me feel better about myself because I couldn't reconcile what happens after my death. So fast forward a few years, my wife continues to go to church. I would go with her on occasion, and once I was in the military, as you can imagine, in the military, you don't really have much control over anything, and that's a place where you can really get to some low points. And one of my low points in that time was in 2017 in October. It was my first long period away from, at the time, just my wife. And I was not okay with that. I was like, well, I need to figure out how to get back, right? Okay, cool. So I'll be back in this many days, and that's okay. I'll be back. I couldn't find any comfort anywhere. I just kept trying to look to my left after I'd wake up, and she wasn't there, and I'd be like, man, now what? Because all of my beliefs, all of my daily activities, everything circled around my relationship with my wife, which is good and healthy. But it wasn't fulfilling enough. And that was the part that I realized while I was gone, that there's nothing that will fulfill as much as Christ. And I gave my life to Christ during that underway. We were gone for, I don't even know what it was. It was almost 2 months. We really weren't that far away. We were just off the coast of Virginia. So whenever we looked at the map, see where we were at, I was like, oh, hey, home's right there. Can I please go there? And I had a chaplain. His name was Chaplain Wise, right? What a name for a chaplain. Chaplain Mike Wise. And he ended up baptizing me the following year, and it was a great time getting to know him, and it was great how the military showed me that I really lack control. But Christ fulfilled that for me, and it's been a great time ever since walking with Christ, let alone walking with my wife in the same step and seeing how he's working in our lives. That's been the most rewarding thing, both as a husband and now as a father. One of the things that we sometimes like to underplay is the faithfulness of God. The faithfulness of God is something that I have struggled with in the past, but my testimony only adds validity to that statement, right? And I think many people in here could say the same thing, that Christ has followed through on many occasions, that in that season you were probably like, I don't know if he's gonna. And then afterwards you look back and you're like, wow, did he ever? So that's where I stand today with Christ, just in a position of awe, in a position of reverence, and just really wanting to take a step back and be like, okay, instead of me trying to control the situation, instead of me trying to know my outcome, I'm okay with whatever will God has for me. So that's the beauty about Christ, really. But outside of that, I know John tonight is going to talk a little bit about. Oh, can somebody go open the door, please? Got somebody standing out there. It's cold out, so. John's going to talk a little bit tonight about legalism and get into a little bit of fasting. He's going to be in Mark 2, and I'm excited for that. And go ahead and hop into the first worship song whenever you guys are ready.